Hey, you guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So, today we have a very interesting guest with us, and I am very excited to speak to him. We have Mr. Nathanael Zurbruegg, and he has had quite a journey. He has battled chronic illness for 30 years and has had three failed kidney transplants and over 4,500 life saving treatments. But guess what? He is a mindset coach and helps people get through all of their trials and helps them to build their dreams because guess what? He's done that for himself. And it sounds like with everything that you've been through, Nathanael, you are an amazing person. So I want to welcome you so much for being here today.
Hey, Melissa. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be on this amazing podcast. So, yeah, it's been an amazing journey so far.
Yeah, I can't even believe everything that you've had to endure so far. So I cannot wait to hear about everything that has happened to you and how it has shaped you to be who you are today. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's gonna be intense. Don't be shocked, but yeah, it's gonna be really intense. So listen, I've been around 1 year old when I was diagnosed with incurable chronic illness that affected my both of my kidneys, and my kidneys got destroyed, which meant like I had to start doing life-saving treatment. Back in the day, it was still every night like at my parents' place. And the exciting thing was like, so that was the first time my parents actually had to decide whether they want to let me alive or basically farewell my life. Because whenever somebody doesn't have any kidneys, they have to go to the life-saving treatment, otherwise you won't survive. So that was the first time my parents had to decide. Then shortly after, I was 3 or 4 years old, they had to decide the second time, which was way more intense in that decision. Um, I was 2 weeks in a coma. After those 2 weeks, the doctors called my parents and said, "Hey, look, we have done everything we could do. There's nothing else we can do right now. So please come into the ICU in order to terminate your son's life." My parents come somewhere in the night to forward my life, and so the doctors were there, the nurses, my parents, my mom. As I know today, she spoke words of faith. I would say words of faith into my life, and so the doctors turned off those life supporting machines, and all of a sudden I started to talk again out of the nowhere. And so to give you a better understanding, so there was no brain function anymore. So I shouldn't be able to walk, talk, or amount to anything. That's what the doctor told then, but later on told a couple more times in my life. But yet I come back to life. Not just from, I fell back in the coma and then recovered more and more. It took about, I don't know, 4 to 5 weeks until I fully was awake and started to recover.
That's
Um,
amazing, though. I have chills as you're talking about that. I mean, what a testimony to faith that your mom had to say, I'm not giving up, not giving up on him right now. That's amazing.
yeah, so I honestly don't know what the words were, but the funny thing was, um, I still remember the moment before I was waking up in my brain, even though I was still in the coma. And I honestly, I think my mom said like, "Hey, look, um, we we're gonna have to let you go, but you are not. in our control. You are not in the life. You are not in our hands life. You know what I mean? Like my parents have no control whatsoever over my life, and I think they somehow surrender it to God. So we are family, and I'm a person of faith, family of faith, and that's what happened. And of course, I didn't expect it, so it was even more a shock when, a positive shock when I was talking again, and that's what happened. Um, so continually, I had I recovered somehow. 4 years old, I lost part of my hearing because of a lot of medication, of the side effects of it. With 5 years old, I had the very first, or I would say we had the very first hope in a light of hope in a long tunnel when when we got a call to uh, that I can get transplanted. So that was the first kidney that I got, which unfortunately only worked for 24 hours. So I wasn't even awake after the first operation. They already had to take me back into the next operation to put out the kidney. And so this is probably the best, or the only thing that I remember was when I was waking up and I was kind of so happy knowing that I have a kidney now. But then my mom told me that it didn't work out. So I was thinking I was waking up after the first operation, but in reality, I was waking up after the second operation to realize that the kidneys are already um, out again. So I had to live with that. To be honest, I wasn't really, completely there with 5 years old, but I remember a really great time with 7 years old when I had my second kidney transplant, and so at that time I realized that now it's my time to flourish, because all I ever wanted was a kidney, and all I ever um, wanted was to understand what it means to live a normal life. And by normal, I mean like feeding myself, going out, playing with friends, get to know other people in my age, going to kindergarten and school. That was the new normal for me. And this really happened for about 2.5 years before my second kidney transplant got destroyed again. And I remember a time when I was, after the hospital stay, I was at home in my parents' living room for 2 weeks, laying on the couch. For 2 weeks, I didn't eat anything, I didn't talk anything, and I almost didn't move. And all I wanted to do in my brain was to take my own life. And fortunately, I was growing up with parents and with a family that kind of understood what's going on in my life. But for many years after, they never knew that I wanted to take my own life. So there was a shifting in my mindset after my parents plugged in counselors, pastoral care. There was a shifting in my strength. I regained physical, emotional, and spiritual strength and all that. And slowly I realized, okay, I somehow can continue life, yet on the other side, I didn't want to continue going back to my old life with having 3 times a week dialysis treatment. It felt like as 9-year-old boy that my freedom, my free time was stolen by that. And it was just a hard time to realize that. But somehow I had to move ahead, and I remember times when I had to force myself into the driver's car in order to go to the treatment. So I had no choice. I had to go there to survive. Yet on the other side, I didn't want to do it. And it continued like that. I had a few other complications along the way until I got my third kidney transplant, which was back in 2001 with 11 years old. And again, dream was coming in. I was like, okay, now again, it's my time to flourish. That will be the rest of my life like that. And honestly, it was interesting time. So one time I thought I had everything that I wanted as a child, yet I didn't had everything that I needed. And so there was a tension, and yet I realized that, you know, there is so much joy at the same time, so much fear of losing it again. And that fear unfortunately come to reality after 13 months, which I got again a setback of having lost my kidney transplant. Um, I, I had to go back, but this time was different because I had to go back to dialysis again, to my very old life, new old life. But yet I realized that I have to change something in my mindset. So I changed to the belief that as a person of faith, I got it from the Bible, and it says that everything will work out together for the good. And I started to believe that because that was my only hope in that situation. And it was the only, I would say, strength behind the hope that kept me going to go back into the old life and knowing, um, being assured, not every day, not every week, it was like that, but at times knowing and being assured that everything will work out for the good one day. And honestly, it has been the truth like that in the last 21 years. Um, and my life has been incredibly changed, especially since age 15. My life got completely stable beside dialysis, and I can look back, even though like the numbers are just incredibly crazy. As you said in the beginning, all the dialysis treatments that I went through, 3 failed kidney transplant, for the operation, and I shouldn't be able um, to be alive 6 times by now, according to the medical report. And so you might feel the passion that I have and the inspiration that I show, because I believe that no matter how our life is going, whether you have a medical issue, a family issue, a relational issue, or a business issue, or whatever issue you have in your life in the long term, I believe that nothing is impossible for everyone, and that if we never ever give up, life can unfold into something beautiful. And I always say, look, pain always turns into purpose. If we stay on track, if we never give up and await to years to come, that life turns around in a more beautiful way.
Absolutely. Love that attitude that you have. That is amazing. And I love that you say pain always turns into purpose. That is so true. And so many people choose to play the victim. And you could have easily done that. You could have easily said, okay, 4 failed kidney transplants. I just want to be a normal child. I just want to go play with my friends, like you did say. And you could have continued to be in that victim mentality. But it sounds like once you started shifting your mindset, that things in your life started shifting as well. And you're kind of living proof of that.
Yeah, sure. I think so. What I learned over the period of time is to refocus the focus on in the current situation. So I think so many of us or actually every person, it's a natural behavior that we look at the negativity when something don't go the way we expect or we imagine. But I think what it does when we look beyond that on, in the long term, I love I love the term long term because it gives you another perspective of the future. And what it does in our mind is it really sets us up for a new motivation, which I would say motivation is short term aspect of it, but it also helps us to build up a certain hope and expectation. Expectation is a beautiful thing because if you expect something for tomorrow, something better, you are going up tomorrow morning way easier than if you will say, hey, today is going to be a bad day. And I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do, it's an everyday decision, but the more we decide on it, the more we focus on it, and the longer we do it, the more consistently we do it, the simple and easier it gets in the long term. And that's
Absolutely right. It's like, it's like anything, you have to get into the practice of doing it for something to become a habit. And bad habits are easier to form
yeah,
because they bring us pleasure. But it's the good habits, you can form them just as much as you can. The bad habits, it just takes a little bit more practice, I think, to really turn it into a habit, into a thing that you do every day. But it sounds like you really, really focused your intention on changing that mindset.
absolutely. I really like the word that you brought up about habit. I think it's the first step to, we all want changes in our life, but changes don't happen. The big changes in people's life don't just happen. It's really the 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 back. It's really what happened in the backstage to form the habit and to consistently live out the habit. And that's what I love. And that we never get retired of that, because it's a everyday decision for the rest of our life. But the earlier we do it, I believe the easier it gets when we get older to form it and change things around. Yeah, so thanks for bringing up the habit.
I agree with you there too. I think the younger you start doing it, the easier it is. It's sort of like learning a language. It's easier for your brain to pick it up when you're younger, but it's not impossible to do. So you can be, 90 years old and wake up and realize that you haven't enjoyed your life and you want to do something different, and you can decide at 90 years old that you want to go out and run a marathon. I think there was some woman in the news not too long ago that I think was actually even older than that just decided she just wanted to run a marathon and had never really done it in her life before, but wanted to prove you're never too old to your dreams don't expire. You're never too old. You can wake up any day of your life and decide that you want to do something different. So I love that. And I love that you brought that up.
Absolutely. Perfect.
So now I know you have a program that you do that is called um, the 4 Steps to Unlimit Your Life. So can you tell us a little bit more about what that is?
Yeah, sure. So this is actually my very first mentorship program that I developing, and it's all about helping people in their overall field to develop a victorious mindset. And before we can get to a victorious mindset, we have to, we have to really set ourselves apart from everything around us. So basically, getting into ourselves, knowing ourselves better. And so this is a really big part that I was blessed in, because when you are chronically ill, you just, there are so many times you are alone and you get to deal with yourself. But you don't have to be a journey like that. I believe that the most important thing in our life, where any health sector comes out of it, say emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, whatever other health, comes out of knowing we are, who we really are. So back to the program. So who am I is the very first question in the first step to unlimit your life. And then the next step is all about, well, what am I here for? Because we can live a life uh, lived on someone else's purpose, or we can really again asking the question, hey, what am I here for? And who or how does it apply with who am I, if that makes sense? And so in those two questions, that's the interesting part, where I give people the opportunity to identify their strengths, passion, and values, which is completely, you won't have, I would say, you will have a unique constellation between those three, but there are a lot of people, other people out there that will have, for example, the same strengths, you have the same passion and the same value, but the constellation is totally unique. And so I want people to take those words, so getting from the outside more and more into the inside, and taking those most valuable words that they have, which they will have is one passion, one value, and one strength, and create a dream out of that, which is amazing, because I believe in the power of, when you go into your core, when you start from the inside out, you are going to have a so much bigger impact than when you go the other way around, from the outside into the inside. And that's the third step, creating the dream. And the fourth step is all about consistently creating habits, as you say, within those passion, strength, and values, and within that dream that I want to see myself in. It can be in 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It doesn't matter, as long as you feel satisfied and peaceful, and you can identify yourself all the time with what you are doing. And I think it's so important in this world to really taking people away from the mass of people, and just spending time with themselves, knowing who am I, what capacity, unlimited potential I do have, in order to evolve it into something practically, into reality. And I can promise you already, you have, everybody that is listening today has so much more potential than you ever will dream or imagine. But you have to take the first step to go look into yourself and see what's there and put it into reality. So that's all about the first step to unlimit your life.
I think that's such a really cool process, because I think for most of us, we've, at least, here in the US, our educational system kind of gears us towards, you have to know what you want to do when you're 18 years old, and you go out and you go to college. And most of us pick our careers based on what our parents want for us to do, or what we think is going to be successful. And, maybe we have an interest in it. I don't really think none of us are taught to go deep within and ask that essential question that you make them ask, which is, who am I? because I don't think we have our own identities even at that age, because we are what we think our parents want us to be, who we think society wants us to be. And I don't think anyone at 18 really ever truly knows who they are. And I think that that has such an impact on what people decide to do with their life and what their purpose actually is. And so I think the way we do things here is so backwards and wrong. So I love that you do that, because it's like you're forcing people to realize, okay, I'm not what my parents think I should be. I'm not what society thinks I should be. Who am I? What really does make me happy? What are my passions? What am I good at? And taking all of that and turning that into a purpose in life. So many of us wander around without a purpose, thinking that we have it. And then, when you wake up and you go to work every day feeling that there has to be more to life than just this. And I felt that before a lot in my life. So this is amazing that you do this for people. I love that. And I'm sure that you must see some really amazing transformations in people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like what you said about, other people's life or the parents' life. It's just, it the environment that we grow up, it just shapes us. But it doesn't mean that we have to live that. We really can make a conscious, intentional decision every day to not look at what's going on outside, but more like going on inside. And I think the steps are very simple, yet I want to give you some attention, because once you take time to really discover yourself, it can be a hard journey. So there will be a lot of stuff in there that nobody told you, maybe you never have realized. But the cool thing is, like, as again, even there I apply the the the, the belief that I earlier said, like, even the crap inside me can turn into something great if I want allow to change and embrace it. And so that's a beautiful thing, that once it's almost like, when you do that over years, it's almost like a stock market. I would say that's the best picture. In the beginning, not much happening or not many changes happening, but once at some point, it's like going up like a rocket. And I love that about personal growth, that we are not, we don't have to be the way we are born. We don't have to stay the way people uh, imagine us, or they told us about. And I realized that so many times in my life, when medical professional experts told my parents or myself, hey, look, you will never be able to talk, walk, or amount to anything. And it hasn't happened once. It's happened a couple of few times. And yet I realized that when we put ourselves on the front to say, no, I'm not have to be like that, the way other people tell me, then something really beautiful can happen.
You prove them wrong.
Say again?
You prove them wrong.
Yeah,
And not
absolutely.
just once, many times you prove them wrong. And I think that is such a testament to your character and your will and fight for life. And you knew you had a purpose here, and that it was greater than just not talking, not walking. You knew that wasn't it. And I love that. And I love how you have taken the life experiences that you've been given and you're using it to help other people find the full potential of their own lives. That's amazing. Amazing. And I just have to applaud you for doing the work that you do.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So now if people want to work with you or they want to follow you, how can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can check me out on my personal website, nathanaelzurbruegg.com, or my business website, unlimited.co. So the best way to just get in contact with me, um, download the free ebook, 4 Steps to Unlimit Your Life, which is on both websites. And let me know if you have any questions, if you have, shoot me an email. I like to have it personal, I don't like um, a huge crowd of people liking and commenting me on Facebook, but I like to have it personal. I want to be that guy who is there for the people, who comes to the people exactly where they are. And so the best thing is to shoot me an email, which you will get on the free ebook, which you can download for free. So get a
Awesome.
hold of it, and yeah, see how you can apply that to your own life.
I will have the links to his website, both the personal and the business website, in the show notes. So you can go there and click on it directly, and then that way you can download his free ebook. I mean, you have to love freebies. That's awesome. And then you'll have his email if you want to get a hold of Nathanael directly. So if you had any parting words of wisdom for anyone out there, maybe somebody who's also suffered a lot of setbacks, either with health or just maybe personal setbacks in their lives, what words of wisdom might you offer them?
Great question.
Mhm.
I would say, firstly, never ever give up on your life, on your dream, and secondly, develop the power of imagination. So, what that means is like, whatever circumstance you're in, always have a picture or audio record it or write it down, whatever works best for you. Have a picture of who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have. And do it crazy. Really do it crazy, no matter how the circumstance looks like. Um, whether you're almost dying or you're getting out of a sickness. Just have something in your imagination that you want to see in your life. And so this is something powerful because we become what we think, and that has been through so much in my life. And what we think, it turns into actions and into habits and all that stuff. And be patient on the journey, because I promise you that it will happen one day. I can't promise you when, how, and at what point of time it will happen. So, but keep going, never ever give up, and always, always dream bigger than you could possibly dream about. So, yeah, that's my wisdom for you, and I hope this really helps for you.
Really love that. And I am a big fan of envisioning what you want for your life. I always tell people that, and I've told clients who come to me when they're sick and they're getting Reiki, that's the first thing I tell them is you need to visualize your body healthy and whole, and envision the doctor telling you like, oh, you're completely healed of whatever this is. And same thing if you're hoping to manifest things in your life, you want the new dream job, envision yourself accepting the new job and having what you want, because that makes it so real to us. And I think that that is all a big part of manifesting what you want is believing you can have it and then seeing it happen in your life. So I love that word. I love those words of wisdom and that piece of advice that you gave our audience. And I want to thank you so much for being here with us to share your wisdom with us and to share your gifts with us. Thank you so much, Nathanael. It's been a pleasure to have you on today.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you so much for the great opportunity. I love to do that, and absolutely excited to always have amazing people that I can talk to, beautiful, handsome people like all those podcast listeners. And yeah, I would love to hear from you, and keep in touch.
Thank you So much. Yes, I'd love to have you back sometime, and good luck with everything that you're doing. Don't forget, guys, that you can go and visit Nathanael's website to get more information about his free ebook and to download it. And I hope that you have a wonderful day, Nathanael. Thank you so much for being here with us.
You're welcome. Thank you, Melissa.
I want to thank all of you for being here with us today as well. As always, if you like this podcast, please subscribe. Please leave a positive review from wherever you're listening. The highest compliment you can pay me is to refer me to other people. So if you share my podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live Mondays at 6:30 Central on Facebook, where I do a free card reading. If you show up for the live, I'll pull a card just for you. And if you want to work with me, you can go to my website, melissaoatman.com. There you'll see all the services I offer, and you can purchase them directly from the website. I hope that you guys are having a beautiful day from wherever you're listening. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.